A very good morning to one and all present here. I am ANINDITA. Today my presented topic, adolescence. So what is adolescence? We all are passing through that period of life. So first tell me what is adolescence? Yes. Anyone else? What is the adolescence period? What is adolescence? No.
Transition between childhood to adulthood.
Yes, very good. Adolescence is a transitional period between late childhood to early adulthood. Okay? So adolescence is a transitional period between childhood to adulthood. And in Latin word, we know that adolescence means to grow up. Adolescence means to grow up. It is the transitional stages between physical and psychological development of human body, and it generally occurs during the period of puberty to adulthood. In adolescence, child have very aggressive and argumentative. So the relation between child and parents should be a conflict relation between child and their parents. So it is the period when child are very conflict. So definition for Oxford definition, adolescence is that period of life when individual in society no longer views him as a child, but yet concede him either the role and function inherent in adult. What is adolescence? Adolescence, the period of a person's between being a child and becoming an adult, between the ages of 13 and 19. Adolescence is a transitional stages of physical and psychological development that occurs during the period from puberty to adulthood. Adolescence is usually associated with the teenage years, but its physical, psychological, and cultural expressions may begin earlier and end later. There are three stages of adolescence. The early adolescence is started at the age of 11 to 14 years, and middle adolescence ages are 15 to 17 years, and late adolescents are 18 to 21 years. Both boys and girls changes their height, weight, growth, hair, skin. They become pimples, their skin, their growth. This is actually the physical changes means this is actually the changes in their body. That time their growing age, their changes in body, their height increases, weight increases, they intake more food. That time they are more engaged in physical activities, like they're playing in ground, more indoor, outdoor activities for boys. So this is the very important role of our life, and this is the very important period of our life. Adolescence. In many psychologists said some different definitions. Explain adolescence is a period. This is the period of stress and strain. That time there is very depression arises, anxiety, anger, their mood changes. So this is actually the time of stress and strain. Adolescence represent a period of rapid growth and development, which emerges from later childhood to early adulthood. Stanley Hall. Stanley Hall is the father of adolescent psychology. What he said? He said, focus attention on major problem faced by the individual at that stages. So according to him, adolescence as a period of great stress and strain and storm and strife. Adolescence is that phase of human development during which child moves from childhood to adulthood mentally, physically, emotionally and socially. That time actually only not physical part is increases. They are that time they are socialized. They socialize with their peers group. They are their emotions are very high. That time they are emotionally attached to any friends, and that time their emotions are very high. Adolescence characteristics and the problems. The year between, mainly some psychologists say that it is already started from the year of 9 or 10. The years 9 or 10 is the age of adolescence. It is the time of characterized of rapid changes. So we as a teacher, when our children in standard 6, 7, so their changes have started from that time. So it is the period of rapid changes and development, as it is the transition between childhood and adulthood. Changes can be inconsistent and uncomfortable. Adolescence experiences physical, social, as well as personal and emotional changes. Cognitive processes also begin at these stages, and these differ. The rate at which the adolescent experiences changes will vary depending on gender, genetics, environment, and factors of health. That time behavior is also changing. Some kids and or child are used to alcohol, drugs. Their behavior is changed to their teachers, their parents. That time they are more aggressive and argumentative. So some common issues during adolescence being argumented and the siblings, parents, argument with teachers. Some of other is smoking, taking alcohol, drugs. Physical changes. Physical changes is a primary characteristics of adolescence. Preteens will experiences growth spots, change in skeletal structure, muscles, and brain development, as well as the sexual and hormonal development. For girls, physical changes begin to happen at the age of 10, while in case of boys, these changes happen at the age of 14 years. Eating disorder, drugs use and other behaviors are seen during these rapid physical changes. So I already said this time is physical changes started. There are so many changes. There are growth, length, height, and girls and for girls and boys. For girls it is started from at the age of 10, and for boys it is started from at the age of either 12 or 13. So many physical changes are occurred that time. Emotional changes. Emotions are very high and intense and characterized by degree of instability, leading to a frustration and instability of mind. His and her emotions development becomes complex by the experience he and she get in environment and may develop fear, anxiety, inferiority complex, mode of depression. So that time their depression is also, their emotions are high. They are mainly they are so many attract to their peers and opposite sex. So their emotions are high. If they are any tension in education or any other issues, sometimes they also commit suicide. And their depression level is also very high. They may be depressed in sometimes. So adolescents are dependent on the parents for fulfillment of their needs and wants to be independent. That time adolescence ages, children are not want to depend on their parents. They want their independent life. They are just away from their parents. They are argumented with parents, their teachers, and this is at the age of adolescence. Their teacher's role is also very important. How do they maintain their children? And children is also very how do they maintain the children? And adolescents are dependent on their parents to fulfillment their needs and wants to be independent. They do not tolerate the strictness of parents and teachers. They want freedom. At that time, they want only freedom. They want whatever they want. They want to do whatever they want. So it is a very challenges for them and parents and teachers also. How to maintain them, how to maintain them, their relations. Cognitive development, personal and emotional characteristics. Adolescence is a time when emotions begin to run high. Parents and teachers may begin to notice argumentative and aggressive behavior due to sudden changes. Socialization. Socialization is another characteristic of adolescence. As they begin to socialize more with their peers and separate themselves from their family. As I said, is that time they are very socialized and they are run away from their family, parents, teachers, their elders, and they are more connected to their peers, and they are attracted to their opposite sex, and they are more during childhood, kids have a feeling of loyalty to their adults as they are considered them role models. However, during adolescence, this loyalty shifts. This loyalty shifts to making preteens more loyal to their friends and peers. Literary meaning of adolescence. At literary meaning, the Latin word I said that it is meant to grow up. So this is the time of growing up of a child. And this is the transitional ages of physical and their growth of psychological development. And it is already I said that it is the period from puberty to adulthood. The period of adolescence is most closely associated with the teenage years. So it is actually it is called teenage years also because from 13 to 19. This is the most powerful and this is the adolescence time which is called that is teenage years also. So their physical, psychological and cultural expression can begin earlier and it is end with latter. The three main stages of adolescence. The early adolescence is already started from the age of 9 and end at age of 13. In this age, their growth in physical health and their growth in sexual characteristics, etc. And the middle adolescence it is the started from the years of 14 and end with the years 15. So this is the distinguished development of separate identity from parents. They are all that time they needed separate identity. They are that time actually they are at the top of the world. They said that they need their own identity. They separate from their parents and new relationship with peer groups and opposite sex and of experiments. Late adolescence. Late adolescence is started from at the age of 16 and it is end at the age of 19. So at this stage, adolescents are fully developed physically, psychologically, all the characteristics that time is fully developed at the age of 19 and have formed a distinct identity and have well-formed options and ideas. Now the young adolescence. At the late age of adulthood is called young adolescence. Adolescence is a critical time to identity formation. Really it is the time of critical time. Critical time. With the onset of puberty comes an explosion of growth, physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual. Understanding the nature and scope of development and responding appropriately required patience, empathy, and a sense of humor. Young people progress through adolescence. Young people progress through adolescence, no two following the same pathway. Most 6 grades show signs of emerging traits, while many 8 grades exhibit more pronounced characteristics. Development characteristics of young adolescents. Physical. Experience onset to puberty, developed secondary sex characteristics, grow rapidly, are often clumsy to the uncoordinate, become highly self-conscious, body image can affect self-image, fluctuate between hyperactivity and rigidity, need physical activity. Development characteristics of young adolescents, cognitive, intellectual, develop ability to think abstractly. This is the time when he develop their brain also. This is the time when she think abstractly. They think abstractly and solve many types of problem or questions. So this is the skill, also the changes, but many still think in internal terms. Develop critical thinking skills and become more self-aware, self-critical. Exhibit increased communication skill and becoming argumentative and demonstrate an intense need to be right. Develop decision-making skills and wants a voice in their choices. Show intense focus on a new interest but lack discipline to sustain it. Emotional changes during this time. That time they are young adolescents, they are unpredictably emotionally are sensitive and prone to obstruct. Are an emotional pulse too can be easily manipulated. Exhibit an increasing capacity for empathy. Experience increases sexual feeling, may engage in sexual behavior with realizing consequence. Social interpretation. Display more developed social consciousness, are more aware of relationship and have a strong need to belong. Exhibit desire for independence and autonomy. Experiences a shift in depends on family to depends on peers. Able to critically compare parents with others. Seek deeper friendship based on shared interest loyalty. Experience increased interest in opposite sex through men often feel uncomfortable and awkward with the other sex. Now, one of the most characteristics of adolescence is decision making. So that time they take any decision. Decision making is very difficult for them. But that time the relationship between parents and child is very conflict relation. So they want only freedom. They are not lose their freedom in at any cost. That's why they taking decision. But as they are immature that time, so their decision is not perfect. So decision making is another difficulties for adolescents. See the decision making charts, but first identify the problem. What type of problem they want to be solved? What type of question they need to be answered? So this is the first they find that type of questions and what they need to be answered, what type of questions. So first identify the problem. Second is collect information. That is gather all the information, whatever their questions they are solved. So gather all type of information. Then identify the identify the alternatives. With the evidence, choose from the alternatives and implement the action, and finally they evaluate the result. Body image, important ingredient of self-concept, help whether we accept or reject ourselves, whether we feel confident in social relationships. Confident is the more important at that time, their confident level, whether they feel confident in social relationships, whether we have an idealized or realistic idea of attractiveness, strength, skills, and sex appeal. This is the graph. What is the mental, physical level of male and female increases at that time. There are some difference in between male and female. That is their height in centimeter per year and their growth. To start, it is 10 years in female, when this is for, I already said 12 years, but here it is 11.5 years. So it is started from already 11.5 or from 12 years. The PHB value for 8.0 centimeter per year in female versus 9 centimeter in males. Ages of PHB at 11.5 years in female, where it is 13.5 years for males. So already we all seen that females are more matured at lower ages. So depending on onset and puberty and effect on the nutrition and illness. Moral, tend to realistic focusing and rules of fairness, defend moral belief of parents, but begin to test rules of childhood, are influenced by values of peers, form a more personal consensus, seek moral criteria that make sense of them, exhibit a strong sense of responsibility towards larger society. Spiritual, exhibit affinitive faith. Faith identifies, shaped by family and community, are open to survive opportunities primarily to connect with peers and test skills, can be open to new prior experience, seek adult role models who live their faith authentically, desire a deeper relationship with God, begin moving away from religious imagery, beliefs and practices of childhood. Many begins to explore new images of God. Now we came to the point of common problems of adolescence. Actually, it is that time, that period, teenage years or adolescence years, they are having so many problems. The adolescents having also problems from individual. There are many problems around him and they needs to help and guidance for their solution for every stage. The following problems are most significant at this stage. What is the problem? Those who are taking classes of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, tell me what is the problem of the students at that time? No one. Nothing problem you faced for your students. Our teachers are best psychiatrists. Our teachers know each and every child better. What he think, what he want to do. So every child have a problem and every child, sometimes you said this is problem create children. You said yes or no. So why? Why do we faces that type of problems? All students have problems. So adolescence, it is the age. First problem is excessive energy. That time their energy level is very high. They are not sitting in at well. So adolescence is the stage of excessive energy. That time is the growing ages. So they intake food many. Their ages are growing ages. So the food increases, and at that stage general health is also improved. The result is excessive energy. The adolescents need mood activity at that time. Our traditional school do not provide such type of activity. Sometimes our school not provide all the activities or games, physical yoga, all are not provide that. So our traditional school do not provide such physical activity. Consequently, the adolescence is restless. Various activities act as sublimination for adolescents and they feel relieved. Misunderstanding connecting sex with the advanced adolescence. The appeal of secondary sexual characteristics is due to the same. They produce emotional appeal to the adolescent. The first appearance of aggressive and withdrawal. When the adolescent cannot adjust himself with the world, it is the time when they are not want to adjust with anyone. They are even not their parents, their elders. They are not even adjust with in classroom, their teachers also. Sometimes they also argument with us, with teachers. Okay. So when the adolescent cannot want to himself adjust any one of the world, he grows to the aggressive and withdraws from the field of personality is arrested. If the conflict is too serious and regardless, the school should provide ample opportunities to the children to express themselves properly. That's why we arrange so many other extracurricular activities in our school or other quiz, so many other activities so that they express themselves. So adolescence is the time when their adjustment and their feelings can understand by their teachers. So school provide ample opportunity to the children to express themselves properly. And co-curricular activities like scouting, student self-government and change method of instruction can go a long way in enabling the adolescents to adjust him with the world. Rebellious attitude. What is rebellious attitude? The adolescents are no more called child. At this stage, they are no more for children. They are not considered them as a children. We should recognize them as a young men and women in the school as well as in a home. Their behavior is so many changes in their behaviors also. So the craving for independence should be satisfied to some extent. They should be given some responsibility. They turn to very obedient if they are trusted. But things do not work too smoothly in ordinary school at home. The sense of independence and responsibility is seldom recognized. The result is rebellion against authority. Physical awkwardness. What is the most important? Adolescents have the feeling of physical clumsiness. Consequently, their movement stand to be awkward and unbalanced. They may be corrected in the playground or on the stage or games or dancing or any other activities. But will give them the harmonious and balanced movement. Social services at the occasion or festivals, etc. The practical work can help the children at this respect. So that's why co-curricular activities are very important in our school, in every school, like any type of games, yoga, dancing competition, singing, or anything else, quiz, whatever, so that they express. Excessive daydreaming. So at the age of adolescence, obviously they thought themselves, I'm the boss. So their dream is more. Daydreaming at the day also. Daydreaming is normal at that stage, but it grows to excessive, it may injure us as for the development of personality in concern. The teacher should note that the adolescents are active and busy in their studies and other aspects of life. The children indulging in excessive daydreaming should be encouraged to be constructive and creative. Emancipation. It is the ambition for freedom from parental sovereign and individual heads contrary to the parents. He seeks identify to himself. So this is that time their behavior change, I already said. So they are heads their parents and far away from their parents, and they seek their own identity. Economically independence. So that time in adolescence ages, no one is economical self-dependent. They are already dependent economic for their parents. So this is the another problem for them. At that time they want they are self-dependent, but no, they economically they dependent on their parents. Money from their parents for personal expenses is a major problem for them. Emotional tension. Emotional development is maximum at that time and unstable. Self-respect and personal pride make the individual emotionally bad. He expects the things to be done as he aspires. So emotional expression is very important at that time, emotional tension. They may tense in somewhere that is in education or some other aspects, whatever. But they are emotionally very high at that level. Personal appearances. This is the significant problem. Adolescence is much worried about the appearance with modern and latest lifestyle at any cost. So this is the personal appearance is very significant problem at that stage. They are much worried about their appearance and latest lifestyle of the cost. Morphological or developmental problem. Overweight and skin problems, some pimples appear on the face, facial deformation of pimples. Psychological problems. Ignorance about many basic facts leads to psychological problems like misconception about childbirth and reproduction, misconception about proteins and circle, fear about sex and sexual issues. Inferiority and superiority complex about skin color, beauty, mental ability and IQ level. Inacceptable perception about dress and fashion codes. Wrong and unrealistic idealistic about friendship and courtship. Perceptional or communicational of principal communication about the teachers and parents. Attraction towards opposite sex. Unrealistic and illogical curiosity about sex and sex-related issues. Acceptation voluntary to suicide psychology. Social. Anticipated unemployment and insecurity due to unemployment, unwanted and inexplicable hatredness towards brother, sister and friends. Intense closeness with brother, sister and friends. Unpredictable and volatile relationship with friends. Unrealistic social perceptions about volatile love, sex and influenced by media. Unusually volatile relationship with relatives. Education. Tensions of attending the classes. Obviously, we started from standard 7, 8 to up to standard 12. Their tension of attending, sometimes they bunking their classes, examinations and tests. They are very fear. This is a fear, anxiety, and bullying is the and depression also the main three tension of adolescence. So examination test also very tensionable work for them. Low IQ feelings. That time they are feeling low IQ feelings. Fear about failure in examination. They very much worried about their examination as they are not fear about low score. They are also their fear about their low score. Fear and concern about a future career. Standard 11, 12 students are more concerns about their careers. They are more fear to what to do after 12. They are very concerned about their careers. Misconceptions about teachers. That time most of the students hate the teachers because whatever teachers said that is not fair for them. So they are misconception about their teachers. So many residential schools are in our country. So that is the adolescence period at the standard 6 to 12 is adolescence period to handle that type of children. That time when they are in that time in the residential schools. So suppose like Navodaya Vidyalaya, being purely residential institute, the role of housemaster, house mistress, nurse, staff nurse and other teachers' role are very important as they handle the adolescent children because that schools are started from standard 6 to 12 and all are residential schools. So how to control that type of adolescent child? This is really a very challenge for them. So like Navodaya Vidyalaya, that the role of house mistress, staff nurse, other teaching and training faculties become very important at that time of entry of a new student in class 6. He is at the initial stage of adolescence. Yes, class 6 children is the initial stage of their adolescence. Moreover, he or she is fully dependent on the Vidyalaya as a whole and different staff members individually or separately. Their housemaster and house minister plays a vital role as parents and guardian. Role of staff nurse is equally student. And when the child stay in our home, so as a parents, whatever their role, so teachers' role is that at that residential schools. So it is really very tough and very tough job for them to that type of control that type of adolescent students and so many adolescent students at that time. Role of teachers in solving problem and proper physical, mental, emotional and social development of adolescents. What is the role of teachers? Tell me teacher, what is your role? Tell something. What is that? What is that teacher?
To channelize their energy in right direction.
Yes, good. Thank you ma'am. Any other? What is your role? Every day you play your role. Tell me something.
Understand their problem from their side.
Yes. Understand their problem. What they want to do, whatever they are thinking inside their mind. We all teachers are good psychiatrists. Okay. So what is the role of teacher is very important at that time. Proper physical development. The teacher should plan for aspect of the following manners by organizing various type of physical exercise sports. So teacher can organize in our school. We organize so many physical exercise, yoga and games by imparting a proper knowledge about physical and health education. Okay, by organize various type of extracurricular activities and more important is counseling. We can counsel each and every child whenever we get time. This is the most important for the adolescent child. So counsel them. Proper mental development. This is the time when brain develop. As we grow grow the child their physical health, they grow up their brain also. The mental development of adolescents should be according to the following lines. It should be according to ability and aptitude of the pupils. They should study both arts and science subjects. Excursion to various places may be organized. Many schools organize so many excursions for students for their mental development, and many quiz contests check their ability to give some questions, maths, whatever, so check their IQ level. So in this way we can increase their or develop their brain. Proper mental development. A modern method of teaching should be used to teach various subjects. All subjects they teach up to 6 to 12, most probably 10. All subjects they read. All the school's teachers should try to impart him necessary guidance as and when they require. They should be entrusted and responsibility as to develop a feeling of responsibility to them. Teachers should keep in view that there are individual differences among students. Every child should be able to find out subject of his choices. So this is the proper mental development. I already said proper mental development for IQ, check their IQ also. Now proper emotional development. How to develop emotionally. The emotional development of adolescents should be as follows. The teacher should be tried to sublimate the lower emotions of the child. A healthy emotional atmosphere should be maintained in the school. The teacher should try to avoid frustration among the adolescents. If we are having a frustrated, sometimes children irritate us, so we just avoid to their irritation and avoid our frustration and make them control them politely. But sometimes they also do some notorious things which irritate us. But no, we have to control our anger because this is the most critical period they are go through. Their depression, their anxiety, their bullying, so many things are occurring. The teacher should pay due regards to the personality of every child. Adolescents should be imparted proper knowledge about sex. If this aspect is properly attended to, it would lead to a better emotional development. What is social development? How to develop a child socially? The social development of adolescents may be as follows. He should have knowledge about social relationships and he should know the art of group living. Various group activities may be organized. So many group activities should be organized in our school to become their socialized. A right and rational attitude towards democracy should be developed in the school atmosphere. This would enable the child to develop his own philosophy of life. The Coterie Commission has emphasized the instruction of moral and spiritual values. We should try to impart a right rational knowledge of various religions to the adolescents. So what is the social development? Social development is already started at the age of adolescence. Their development of psychological, physical, social, and emotional. They are started all the at the stage of adolescence. They may be socialized with playing with a game with the other school, inter competition with other school, their peer groups, as well as they also want to respect the teachers and parents and elders. So socialization is the another very important part of adolescence. So adolescence is the period which we physically develop. Actually, now the social media is very strong and they use smartphone. But it is not always, this is also drawback for students. They are not a proper use of always, every student not use the proper use of that smartphone. So this is, actually this is the, when we toss a coin, there are two sides. One advantage, everything have a merits and their demerits. So some students may be in their social media or using their smartphone to see whatever are going in our world, or they also did something making their project activities. In this way they increase their power. But sometimes it is also happen that they are misuse of that smartphone. You know, they see some other thing which is really harmful them. So as a teacher we can control that type of students, and we need to solve their solution. Sometimes it is also happen in school also. We guide them that is this media, this type of sites are not for you all. We also guide them to see something, whatever is making project activities. So our right directional may give some knowledge to our adolescent child, make them feel better in school, give them the atmosphere, healthy atmosphere in school and their home also. We talk to their parents, not scolded them, because this is the time when their emotions are also very high. Sometimes they also make committed suicide. So this is the time of depression. Some of them, in one student of my class, the last 2 years, that name is Sashi, he was in depression. And not a single day he attended the classes in standard 12. He was really in very acute depression. So something happened with him. In standard 10 his score is very good. But in standard 11 he came to school, but not regularly. But in standard 12 he is in the acute depression, and he was in his treatment from fellow. So what is happened? Something happened. His parents said that something happened in school and whatever in some other places, that the boy in totally in depression. So this is the really very sad for all of us. So in class we should counsel all the adolescent child. This is a period of a very critical period of adolescence. So making any decision, whatever be the decision is right and wrong, they are not think about this, and they make it any type of decision, whatever they want. So really this is the very critical period for us also. Our teachers, we control all type of student in our school. So this is very critical time for us also, control that type of student. But we have to counsel, but sometimes we arrange some counselor to come and counsel them. Adolescent child are very important to each and every school from standard 6 to standard 12. They are very, we control them. Adolescence should be most wonderful time of life. Really, it is the most wonderful time also. That time they are make their friends, they make their colleagues, they make their friends, group dance, whatever they want, they will do. Most physical and mental functions such as speed, strength, reaction, time, and memory are fully developed. That time, this is the time when their strength, physical development, everything is fully developed at the age of 13 to 19. This is really teenage years, and this is very important and wonderful time of life. And memory are fully developed during the teenage years. This time memory is fully developed, no other issues. So adolescence is the most wonderful time of our life. So many adolescents are, so many psychiatrists of adolescence, they think about the children to inspiring them. As a teacher, we also inspire each and every child of our school and any other school or our surrounding in our neighbor, because really this is very tough period for each and every child, and control that type of children is our parents' role is very important, and as well as our teachers. As a teacher, we are teacher in our school, but we are also parents in our home. So this is really very tough for us also control our children that time in our home and in our society or in our school. Each and every child is our only. So do something for them and counsel them each and every moment, so that they are not in any other direction. They do whatever they want, but in some proper direction. Direction is another very important for them. What career they choose after 12? What is their motto of life? Every day, at least 5 to 10 minutes, tell them. Tell some inspiring word to them, so that they may get confused, so that they may get some necessary things from us and inspired from us. So adolescence is the most important part and wonderful time also. They are that time they thought that they are at the top of the world. Everything is there in hand, no matter where are they. So they are really, that time is very useful for them, and we as a teacher guide them. And so what Swami Vivekananda said, Swami Vivekananda is a youth leader, and what he said for adolescence: भरोसा खुदा पर है तो जो लिखा है तकदीर में वही पाओगे. भरोसा खुदा पर है तो जो लिखा है तकदीर में वही पाओगे, मगर भरोसा अगर खुद पर है तो खुदा वही लिखेगा जो आप चाहोगे. So this is very inspiring what we also say in our class and our children also, so that each and every children motivated from us. Thank you.